Hey, Make Pop Music fam, what is up today? I'm here to bring you a super special video. So I did a cover of Ed Sheeran's new track, Shape of You. I did it a couple weeks ago, and everybody loved it. They said that I got super close to the original, and a bunch of people were asking if I could do a tutorial on how I got so close to the original. So today I'm just going to kind of walk you through, number one, the process of remaking a song, and then number two, how I actually specifically made this track right here. So let me just start with the process. The first thing I had to do was, of course, listen to it over and over and over again. And I went into my DAW, found the tempo, and then I set up markers. So every time that there's like a change in either like progression or in like new sounds and stuff coming in, I went ahead and marked that off, and then I had a Word document where I would say the word or the phrase that was coming in, and I'd say any new elements that were coming in. So like number one was intro, number two was intro with drums, number three is when vocals came in, number four was the pre-chorus, number five is when more drums came in and the first little chorus came in, so on and so forth. So I had to get everything straight, get it all laid out, figure out what the tempo was, what the structure was. And then once that was done, I was able to kind of go in and start doing it. So the first thing I needed to do was I listened to the song, and the main thing going on is like that little marimba that's happening, this little thing. So I knew that that was the first thing that I was going to have to make. So let's go ahead and open it up. I just used, this is a couple layers. I used a marimba layer, and I used a djembe layer just to kind of give it more percussive elements. So let's take a listen to just let's take a listen without any effects. This is what it was in Halion. So I knew that I needed a little bit more bite, I needed a little bit more mids and low end, and I definitely wanted some reverb, so let's hear it now. And then I could hear in the song that there was kind of like a little stick hit, kind of like a slap going on back there, so I went ahead and added this djembe right here. And just kind of layered that over it. And processed that as well with like Pro Q, Camel Crusher, and Verb Sweep. Camel Crusher is super dope. If you ever want to like put transients in any like plucks or hits or anything, just turn everything off, turn that compressor on, turn off fat mode, and then just have it like half and half, and then you can even mix it in. But that always adds like some super sick attack to everything. And then next I knew that we were going to have some like acoustic guitar percussion coming in. So let's take a listen to what I did for that. So I just grabbed a mic, grabbed my acoustic guitar, and then did a couple different layers. Layer one is like the main hits. Number two is this little like kind of like a string whack on the backbeat. Number three is like just sliding my hand almost like a shaker. And then number four is it had like a little like string rake. So altogether that was this. And then with the marimbas going.
Club isn't the best place to find a lover, so the bar is where I go.
And then of course we did some layers on these.
Me and my friends at the table doing shots, chicken fat.
And then four was my next marker, so I knew that we were going to have a change, so we went ahead and started stacking vocals, and we did low harmonies here, then we brought in high harmonies.
I'm singing like, girl, you know I want your love. Your love was handmade for somebody like me. Come on now, follow my lead. I may be crazy, don't mind me. Say, boy, let's not talk too much.
So you can see I'm just kind of like adding stuff in as the song progresses and as the song goes. This is also a good tip just for working on your own tracks and in production. Just this progression is really nice because there's always something new coming in for the listener, whether it's another harmony or another little extra part of a percussion piece. Just keeping it different every 4 to 8 measures really helps listeners kind of focus in. And so let's take a listen to right here. I'll go ahead and mute the vocals because you guys are probably very familiar with the actual top line. So let's listen to what I had to put in here. So as you can hear, I started adding like some stomps and claps. Let's see. Yeah, and then just again processed it with the same stuff. Like this wasn't even really a mixed track since it was just a little cover. Threw in some claps. And then it has like this little like guitar thing going again. I had to track this again. Just like quick string rake. So all the drums and percussion sounds like this. And then with synths and marimbas. As you can see, this is super basic. This is literally the only thing that's happening right now are these tracks. So basically the next thing that I knew I had to do was we had to go where the bass starts coming in, and then there's also a guitar that's off in this very, very distant. And then there's also a snare that's like on the backbeat, and there's a little bit harder stomp. So that takes us to number 6 right here. So we had to throw in a little bit harder stomp. And then we threw in some, it's got some like hip hop style snares. It has this like little electric guitar in the background. And that was just using the Waves guitar tool. Nothing crazy. And then bass, this was just in Serum. Yeah. Yeah, this is in Serum. This is from our new Smokers pack. And then we went ahead and stacked some of these vocals, so... So I did a couple, and then Grayson, the guy who sang it, did a couple. And then after that, everything kind of drops out again, and it goes really similar to the first verse. And then there's just like a little pause right here on one of the phrases. Again, just listening, taking notes while you're listening to the song, keeping time references as to what's happening will really, really help you when you're piecing these covers together. As long as you're trying to make it sound like the original. If you're doing a cover and you want to go ahead and completely reimagine it, that's awesome too. That was just not our goal for this one. So let's go ahead and find a part where something new that we haven't talked about yet comes in. And that looks like it's going to be right here. It looks like there's some extra claps coming in right here. And there is another guitar layer coming in right here. So... So I heard some really fast claps happening in this track, so I just went ahead and programmed some fast claps into Groove Agent, and then I knew that there was like a little guitar pluck, so I went ahead and tracked that in. Playing was a little sloppy, but it's not a huge deal. It's really far back there, and you know, if you've heard Ed's songs, they're not super edited and tight, so I was fine with that. Again, just like CLO guitar and Fab Filter, and that was pretty much it. And then let's see. The last thing we really need to talk about is this part right here. This little pre-chorus. Or I'm sorry, this little bridge. So like I'm listening to the song and all that's happening is the vocals.
Come on, be my baby, come on, be my baby.
And then I have just like some acoustic guitar right here that's tracked and mixed really poorly, but it's all good. And then for this last chorus, everything kind of comes in. So we've got a bunch of acoustic guitar tracks going. We've got a bunch of acoustic percussion and program percussion. And then we've still got those marimbas that have gone this entire song. And then the same bass line. That was really pretty much it. Like the marimba part repeats like 100 times throughout this. The bass line stays the same. That doesn't ever change up. Most of the percussion stays the same with just new added layers here and there. And the only thing that really ever changes is some guitar plucks here and there, and then these little acoustic guitar like just chord progressions back here. But I mean, that was really it. This was a super quick and easy song to try to reimagine and reproduce. And hopefully this video kind of helped you, maybe not for this song in particular, but maybe in the future if you're ever wanting to recreate a track or just analyze a track, you know, this will help you kind of piece that together. So you really, when you're analyzing a track, you really want to listen to tempo, you want to find the key, and then you want to listen to like the tone of everything. So you need to find like what the percussion is doing, find that rhythm, and then kind of find like the timbre of all the sounds. You need to find what the keys and what the synths are doing, and again find that rhythm, and then kind of find those timbres and sounds. And then guitar and bass, same thing. Like you want to find everything's rhythm and everything's timbre. And then once you have that, you can kind of analyze it and start piecing it back together. Vocal production on this, we kept it pretty similar to the original. Layers where there needed to be layers, no layers where there didn't need to be layers. And everything came out pretty spot on. So if you want to check out the cover, go check out Grayson Gibson. He did the Shape of You cover. And if you want to download the instrumental to use on your own, you can download my instrumental. I'll put a link in the description. But that's going to be it for today. Heading out with Make Pop Music. And if you want to support us, go check out our store at woodshed.audio.co. We've got a brand new product up called Smokers, and that product is amazing. It's presets and samples that everybody can use for everything. So definitely go check that out. That's going to be it for this tutorial, and I hope to see you guys next time. Much love. Peace out.